Life has ups and downs, predictability and unpredictability. And sometimes, all it takes to shift the balance is a single, unexpected message on your phone. Episode 6. Roxanne. Harold awoke in his apartment. He stood for a moment, then sat back down on his bed. He put his hands on his face.
You're going to be okay today. You can do this.
Harold grabbed a book off his nightstand and walked out the door. He waited outside his apartment building and took a deep breath.
Harold, not crazy. You can adjust. You just need to take it one step at a time.
A car pulled into the parking lot. Harold waved and the car pulled up next to him.
Are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
Then let's go.
Harold slowly got into the car and they drove away.
How's the last week been?
Leroy has been trying to comfort me, but he isn't exactly good at it.
It must be a lot to not remember 2 months of your life. Have you found the journal yet?
No. I don't know where I could have possibly stored it. Why can't you guys just tell me what happened?
Because it would be better for you to figure it out for yourself.
Can you at least tell me how I'm going to be received when I get there?
You'll know very quickly.
They arrived at the brick campus of Hollow Falls University. Samantha led Harold out of the car and escorted him down the hall. Harold could feel the suspicious glares of students as he walked past. One student was glaring especially hard.
I can't believe they let that psycho back in here.
Hey, you're the one who antagonized a man with a mental condition.
How the hell was I supposed to know what would happen?
You are pathetic.
I'm sorry for whatever I did to you.
You should be in the loony bin, you psycho.
Samantha led Harold away from the antagonistic bystander and stopped outside his creative writing class.
What did I do to him?
It doesn't matter. Just get inside.
Please tell me.
He was attacked in your last incident, the one a week ago. He antagonized you at the table, and we tried to get him to stop. You went berserk. Cheez-Its everywhere, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Now, have a nice day.
Harold walked into his class and sat down in the farthest seat from anybody else. It's not as if that was difficult. Once he sat down, the few people near him moved away. He was getting ready for class when somebody walked right up next to him.
Did I do something to you?
Can I sit down?
Harold looked up.
Have we met before?
Are you kidding?
Wait. You're the girl from...
Outside the hospital. My name is Roxanne. It's really nice to meet you again. I really like that story you shared in class a week ago. It was moving.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you heard about what happened to me. I don't remember the last 2 months of my life.
Well, that's no good.
Roxanne sat down next to Harold and leaned in.
It's a shame you don't remember how cool you looked when you destroyed that guy at lunch. It took like 6 people to restrain you.
You were there?
Yeah, I loved it.
Part of me is glad I don't remember. Maybe it's easier that way.
You know, I've been working on this story, and I haven't been able to organize my thoughts very well. Could you help me after school?
Sure, I guess. I don't have much else to do.
Great. Here's my number.
I'll text you at lunch so you have my number.
It's a plan.
The teacher walked into the room. All right. Welcome, class. Today, Mr. Wilson has returned, and I think we should all be respectful. He isn't in full control of his actions. Mr. Wilson, how's your entry been going?
My entry?
For the film contest. You are the first person in our school's history to make it to the second round of the Hollow Films contest. Your first entry was one of those time travel stories you've been writing.
Huh?
Do you really not remember?
I've been having memory trouble since the Cheez-It incident.
Ah, well, I can get you a copy of your first submission, and the rules for the contest, if that would be helpful.
Thanks. That does seem helpful.
Have you had any of your strange dreams recently?
Yeah, but I don't really want to talk about it right now.
All right, well, let's get back to class. The class was fairly normal from that point on, but Harold hated the feeling that he was on everybody's radar. He walked through the halls and people were staring at him. Whether it was because of his accomplishment or failure, he had no idea. He tried to keep himself busy, and lasted until lunch, when, sitting alone, he heard...
Hey, you!
Harold kept his head low as he heard footsteps approaching.
I'm talking to you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I've been thinking about that for a little while, and I think I have the perfect solution for a little psychopath like you.
What solution is that?
Hello?
Hi, what's your name?
Brad?
You don't want to hurt my friend here, do you, Brad?
Of course I do.
Oh, that hurts my feelings. But I did come here for a reason. Here.
Roxanne handed him a phone.
You left your phone in biology.
The phone started ringing.
Hello?
The look on his face completely changed from stubborn rage to broken and filled with despair.
I have to go.
What was that?
No idea. I just handed him his phone.
Thanks?
Well, I had to come check on you. You haven't texted me yet.
Oh, right.
Harold pulled out his phone, pressed a couple buttons, and... Roxanne got a text.
Well, hello to you too.
What time should I meet you?
Meet me at 5 o'clock. Here's my address.
Roxanne typed the details into her phone, and Harold received a little of confirmation.
Well, I guess I'll see you later, Roxanne.
Don't leave me hanging.
Roxanne walked away, and Harold sat back down to eat his food. From the shadows, he was approached by a spy that had been watching him for the last 10 minutes, prepared to intervene, but never making a move. He sneakily approached Harold like an ambushed predator, and when he was right next to Harold, he pounced.
Who was that, pray tell?
A girl from my creative writing class. Her name's Roxanne.
Oh, well, good for you, man.
Good for me?
Well, she was obviously flirting with you.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Harold, come on. Why would she invite you to her place to study when the campus has a massive library nobody uses?
Well, maybe the library has terrible Wi-Fi. I mean, I've never been there, so I can't say for sure. But if it's anything like the Wi-Fi in the art room, I don't blame her.
What's wrong with the idea that somebody might like you?
It's wrong because it gets my hopes up for something impossible. It makes me act like an idiot. I mean, seriously, have you seen her?
Yes. What's your point?
There's no way any girl, let alone a girl like that, would ever be into me.
You are hopeless.
Harold glanced down at his watch.
Oh, I gotta go. See you later.
Go forth in triumph, lady killer.
Go forth in triumph, Mr. Delusional.
They both walked in opposite directions to their next class. On the way to his next class, Harold bumped into somebody standing in the hall.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
He tried to walk away, but Harold stopped him.
Do I know you?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry, I feel like we've met recently.
No, I guess I just have one of those faces, you know?
He walked away before Harold could try to place him. Harold shrugged and went to class. Agent 67 kept walking until he reached the empty building at the edge of campus. He entered to find 49 working on a complicated machine.
How close is it?
Pretty close.
How did he recognize me?
Come here.
Agent 67 walked over, and Agent 49 grabbed his wrist. She started messing with the settings.
It's fried. How did it fry?
Does that mean he recognized me from when we helped him during the incident?
Maybe, but there's no way to tell how long it's been fried.
What does that mean?
It means we've got to be more careful. You can stand guard for the next hour.
What do you need to get this time?
About 20 feet of copper wire.
Okay, I'll make sure nobody comes in here.
T-minus 2 days.
Don't remind me.
It was a good call. I'll be back in about an hour. Just don't burn the building down.
Just go.
Agent 49 walked out the door, and Agent 67 was left alone. He paced about the room for a moment, then sat down in an old, crusty chair.
You'll be fine. He didn't even remember what happened after the second incident, let alone the third one.
Agent 67 took a deep breath, and then a strange noise echoed throughout the room. It was a phone ringing. Agent 67 stood up and looked around for it, but he couldn't find it. He turned back to see a rotary phone on the chair he'd been sitting on.
I don't recall there being a phone there when I sat down.
He picked up the phone and contemplated for a moment before answering.
Hello? Who is this?
Well, I hate this name, but it's the only one I can remember. So, you can call me Agent 11.
That's not a good prank, 49. I can see you out the window on your phone.
Oh, I assure you I'm no 49. But if you need proof, then I'll provide it. Out that same window is a man wearing all black and sitting on a green blanket. In 3 seconds, he's gonna die from a heart attack. 1, 2, 3.
The man clutched his chest and fell over in a heap.
What the hell?
Now, is that something 49 would do just for a prank?
I still don't believe you.
Well, how's this then? I know you've received 2 different letters from Agent 11 that you haven't told 49 about. One you found right after the wedding, and it read, "Over the hills and under the sun, the Comic-Con incident has begun." The second one read, "The extreme growth of hair has come to an end. Harold has recovered with the help of a friend."
You son of a bitch!
Now do you believe me?
What do you want?
I'm no moron. I know what you and 49 have been planning. But I think you're fun. So I've been waiting around for it to charge. But my patience is running thin. I want to meet face to face, or I might just leave right before you can prove that I'm actually here.
My wrist recorder has been taking down everything you just said. That's all the proof I need.
Oh, really? 'Cause I'm pretty sure your disguise isn't the only thing malfunctioning. Why don't you pop open your little recording device?
Agent 67 looked down and opened the compartment with the recorder.
What is this?
Just a little bit of mocha schnitzel oil. It turns out that the weird fusion food in this town can jam more than just the digestive system of any normal human.
Where do you want to meet?
Moonbuck's coffee. I want more mocha schnitzel. And theirs is the best.
When?
Right as your plot device is supposed to be working.
What?
I like literary elements. I include them in my speech on a regular basis. I will meet you in 2 episodes' time.
So, 2 days?
Precisely.
And what if I bring 49 and we apprehend you?
Well, I won't stop you from bringing 49. But if you do, I won't be there long enough to register on that machine of yours. Have a nice day, Agent 67.
Wait!
He hung up, and Agent 67 was left alone again.
Shit! What does he want with me?
Agent 67 sat down and started to clean the oil out of his wrist panel. About 40 minutes later, a knock was heard on the door. 49 had returned.
Honey, I'm home.
We've got a problem.
Harold walked along the sidewalk to the address Roxanne had sent him. He approached a large house on the hill that overlooked Hollow Falls Valley. He stared up at the house in disbelief. He pulled out his phone and typed the message, "Is this your place?" with an attached image of the house. Roxanne replied, "Yeah, I'll be out in just a minute." Harold waited for a couple of minutes, and sure enough, Roxanne walked out to the gate and pressed a button on the panel. The large metal gate swung open. Harold stood in amazement.
You live here?
Well, I don't own it. It's my dad's. I'm staying here while I get my degree.
Roxanne led Harold up the driveway. Harold's eyes kept darting back and forth to see various exotic gardens, all of which were very well watered.
With money like that behind you, what are you doing in Hollow Falls?
I like it here. Things are calm. With a writing talent like yours, what are you doing in Hollow Falls?
I moved here to get away from my problems. But now I think that trying to outrun my problems has given them stronger legs.
Hey, I saw you chase that guy down. You got some pretty strong legs yourself.
Maybe.
They reached the house, and Roxanne led Harold into the dining room. It was massive and ornate.
I can see your dad really embraces the Wayne Manor aesthetic.
I did often wonder as a kid whether my dad was a superhero, but no, just a very successful businessman.
What industry is he in?
He's involved in a lot of stuff. I know he's big in real estate and managing transactions between other rich people.
Fancy.
Yeah, I'm getting training in foreign languages so I can be a valuable asset for the company.
Languages?
I got plenty of business training growing up, but I wanted to contribute, so I'm learning a ton of languages so the business can expand overseas better.
How many languages can you speak?
I can fluently speak French, German, Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic, and Persian. I'm learning Italian, Japanese, Korean, and Hindi.
Wow. That's impressive.
I had a lot of expensive tutors growing up.
I had a pretty standard public education.
Well, I've told you what I want to do. So tell me, what is the end goal for Harold Wilson?
I was thinking of being a journalist, since I like writing and the world is always in need of reliable news.
Please don't be offended by this, but I think that is a waste of your creative talent.
What talent?
Professor Nielsen passed around a copy of your story. Here.
Roxanne handed Harold a neatly stapled copy of a story called Temporal Alteration. Harold opened the file and started reading it.
Wow. I didn't know I had that in me.
You said in class you were writing about your dreams. Are you still having those dreams?
Yeah. But they've changed. They're darker, more terrifying.
Well, I won't make you talk about it. I do need help with my project after all.
Right. Yeah. What can I help you with?
Well, I'm running a kind of satirical comedy sci-fi. It takes place on a spaceship that is lost in space after a massive calamity.
Cool.
Yes, so the problem is, I'm not sure how to organize my thoughts. How did you organize your thoughts?
Well, I think what I did was try to think about it in terms of a series. I made a basic plan for every episode, then I worked on all the parts. I thought they should fit in this one story.
You are so helpful.
Harold and Roxanne worked for a couple of hours. As the sun was approaching its final moments in the sky, Harold stood up.
Well, I should probably get going. My brother would be worried about me.
You've been such a help to me. Is there anything I can do for you?
Nah, I'm pretty good in most of my classes.
Harold walked to the door.
How about I treat you to a night out by the river?
Alright, sounds fun.
It's a date.
The door shut behind Harold, and he waited a few seconds before it hit him.
Wait, what?
Agent 49 returned to find 67 panicking and pacing about the room.
Oh boy, he's here. He's here.
How do you know?
He called me. He knows about the plan.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Look, he said he would willingly stay while the machine fires, but I have to meet him face to face.
Alone?
Alone.
Do you think you can handle that?
Does it matter? If we don't have proof, the agency won't send backup.
Alright, but just know you're about to face the most dangerous threat in the history of the Temporal Alteration and Corrections Organization.
Okay, do you have the last part of the disruption machine?
Agent 49 held up a heavy-looking bag.
Right here.
Okay, let's do this.
They took out the copper wire and attached it in strategic places to the machine that they had constructed in the classroom. It took about 20 minutes, but when they finished, the machine made a buzzing noise and a force field emerged from it. The field spread out, slowly passing through any matter that it touched. It reached the sky and spread out across town. Once it blanketed the entire region, it became cloudy and the air became thick with moisture.
This will disguise the Nexus Scanner from any unwanted attention, right?
Anybody who tries to take a reading will think the power issues are just due to an electrical storm.
Okay, this is really happening, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Thank you for watching. Harold the Star Trek Nerd is a Nexus Group podcast written by Dylan Ash and produced by Hayden Reese, Haley DiGirolamo, and Dylan Ash. The first thanks I'd like to give out is to the cast. They are, in order of appearance, Fen Holland, Haley DiGirolamo, Red Medina, Sydney Westerfield, Chase Hinman, Donovan Peterson, Samantha Woodruff, and William Stewart. A very big thanks goes out to the editors of Harold the Star Trek Nerd, who ensured that the episode got out on time despite a certain creator being bogged down with finals. They are Red Medina and Xander Swap. Sound effects for Harold the Star Trek Nerd were sourced from the Creative Commons at freesound.org. Specific creators and sounds will be detailed in the description on YouTube. As always, a major thanks must go out to Aidan Henry for writing the intro theme to Harold the Star Trek Nerd. He may no longer answer my messages on Discord, but as long as I draw breath, I shall still thank the man. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, Episode 7 can be expected in 4 weeks. Thank you, and good night.